Hello YouTube friends, it's me Theosia Talks, and today I have the privilege and the honor to be preparing one of my meals that I got for free from EveryPlate, thanks to my friend Etasha. Etasha has a subscription to EveryPlate, and one of their perks is if you introduce it to someone else, they can get a free box. So she sent me a link to it, and I ended up getting this free box. When you open up the box, the recipe cards are on the top. And I've got 3 of them. This is the broccoli umami bowl. This is the cherry glazed pork meatballs. And then we've got the caramelized onion burgers. There's a coupon for Kind bars, and they sent me a sample of a Kind bar. There was an actual Kind bar in there. I thought that was cool. So underneath there are the vegetables. There's broccoli, and these are like the sauce packets and things that I'll be using. Some panko crumbs, not to mention we've got carrots, onions, potatoes, red pepper, garlic, hamburger buns. Everything is pre-packaged, pre-measured, and ready to go. Underneath the vegetable layer, there are 2 cold packs, and in between those cold packs are the meat. So there's the ground beef, and there is the pork. Today I'm going to make the caramelized onion burgers. It has options of either doing 2 or 4 meals. I chose the option for 2 meals because then you can have, something for dinner and then something for lunch the next day. Or you can prepare both of it and freeze part of it. You have options. Anyway, so I'm really excited about doing it. I don't plan on signing up for the subscription service just yet, only because I usually cook and I like to come up with different ideas on my own, but I just want you to know that if you are interested in something like this, it definitely will stretch your imagination. They have so many different recipes, and they will pre-select meals for you depending on how many meals you want for the week. And then they give you options to change those meals out or even swap some ingredients. It's pretty cool. So let's get started. Okay, so here is the recipe that I have here from EveryPlate. It is the caramelized onion burger. It comes with a recipe card, and on the front it shows what they sent to me and then the things that I'll need. I'll need some salt and pepper, butter, sugar, and vegetable oil. I might not need the vegetable oil, we'll see. And then on the back it gives all the instructions on how to cook it. The cool thing about this is that, like, whether you know how to cook or don't know how to cook, they explain everything in detail, so it makes it easy. It's got a time frame there. You've got the prep time in 10 minutes and then ready in 35 minutes. So not to bore you, I'm going to just fast forward through this part where I cut up the vegetables and put the oil that I did need, and put the onions in there, salt them, get out my air fryer so that I can put those in there as well. Gonna go ahead and keep that moving. Put those in there to separate them. That's my ground beef. Get that patted down in there. I washed my hands in between there, please believe. Get them turned. And the buns, they were not split, so you did have to cut them open. And then I spread a little butter on each one of them and put them in the skillet so that they could brown up. That's the mayo. They wanted us to use a wasabi, and I am not a fan of wasabi, like, at all. And generally I would eat it, but I just couldn't do it today. And so instead I decided to make a garlic aioli instead. So just go ahead and put some garlic powder in your mayonnaise and mix that up. Now let's check on these carrot fries. They look pretty good. If you take the time to really cut them and make them look like something, you'll end up with a really good product. So I was very happy with those. Ooh, look at that. So golden brown, so delicious. I'm going to spread some of the aioli on each side of the buns there. And let's get one of the burgers on this potato bun. It was really nice and fluffy, but kind of firm all at the same time. It's really good. And then put the caramelized onions on top. Now, ordinarily, I would be someone to put like barbecue sauce or something like that on my burger. And let me tell you, this burger didn't need any of that at all. Gonna go ahead and get these carrots out of the air fryer now that they're done. I don't remember how long I put them in there for. I just kept watching them and taking them out and shaking them and checking them for doneness. And you know, this is where I thought that they had achieved what I needed them to achieve. Put the rest of the aioli on the plate there, and voila. On the menu tonight is cherry glazed pork meatballs. I've got a package of pork, ground pork, and I had some carrots to slice, and I put them in there with some oil and salt and pepper. I got my Yukon Gold potatoes diced and put in here. I just did not have the heart to cut all this stuff up on TV. Anyway, and oh, look how cute. For my glaze, it's like, it's a cherry preserves. Look how tiny it is. And then also a tiny little thing of white wine vinegar. And we got some chicken stock and some panko crumbs, oil, vinegar, onions, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna get started. Okay, so we've got the potatoes. We're gonna go ahead and put those on, cover them with some water, and then we're going to put some salt in there. I wish I had more space, guys, but this is what I have. So a little salted water in there. Let's see how I roll in a minute. You know, I don't know why this onion is on here, because there was nothing for me to make an onion with. These are going to go in the air fryer. But that's going to have to wait until later, because right now I need to mix up my meatballs. And in order to do that, I got to do some finagling. Okay. This out of here. Okay, we need to put in half the panko crumbs. Let's use a clean knife for that. That's about half. And half the garlic. Right. Medium bowl. Pork, half the panko, half the garlic, and some salt and pepper. So that's about half. Salt, pepper. It's weird. I just had it. Okay, so I actually found the pepper, which was great. So let's go ahead and do that and open up this pork. Now, cutting these things open, I think, was probably the most difficult thing in this whole situation, which really isn't a bad thing, but you know, if you use some scissors, you're fine. So it's got half of the panko crumbs in there, and we're just going to stir that up and make sure that everything is integrated. So it's like, you know, half the panko crumbs, the pork, pepper, and garlic. And then we're just gonna keep giving it a stir until everything is integrated together. I have the meatballs all formed. I made about 11 of them. I'm gonna put a little oil in the skillet. And then we're going to put them in here so that we can fry them. Now I went ahead and put them in there so that they can get fried up. They sound amazing. They smell, so amazing. You really smell all of the garlic and the seasoning. Went ahead and mixed up the sauce based on the instructions. Put the meatballs in the sauce. Let's switch these burners really quick because, yeah, I gotta make these potatoes. Got a nice boil going on there. This is usually used to chop up meat, but I'm going to use it as a potato masher today. Got my trusty air fryer out. And so I'm gonna go ahead and put the carrots in there. I decided to use a small aluminum pan so I wouldn't get oil all on the bottom of my air fryer. Mashing up the potatoes, and then I need to switch gears because that's in the way and you can't see. So there's that. And I'm going to stir those around so that you can see how the glaze is really starting to stick to the meatballs. Add a pat of butter to both the meatballs and the potatoes per the instructions. And now that the carrots are done, let's go ahead and plate it up. Get these potatoes on here. This meal was easy to make. I was very excited about it. I think that I ate meatballs 3 different times because it was so much. And check out that glaze. Oh my word. It was so good. So let's get these carrots actually on the plate. I should have used a spoon. I was trying to get that out with a fork, but you know, I digress. And that's what my final plate looks like. Okay, everything is done, and now I'm going to give it the old college try. These are Yukon Gold potatoes. Creamy, smooth, slight lumpage, but only because I didn't like mash them down quite enough. I did not add enough seasoning to this because I'm supposed to season it with salt and pepper. And sometimes I like to have garlic powder and onion powder in my potatoes, but yeah, so those could use a little more seasoning. Hot. It's good though. And the pièce de résistance. Wow. Very garlicky because I used a whole clove of garlic in between the sauce and the meatballs themselves. Honestly, if I did this again, I would probably put the other half of the garlic in the mashed potatoes. But anyway, so good. The sauce is like slightly sweet, but not like syrupy sweet. And you can taste all of the flavors kind of mingling together. That is really good. So my last dish was the sticky umami broccoli and bell pepper bowls. And that's what it looked like on the recipe card. Now, I somehow misplaced my sweet soy glaze, so I don't have any footage of me doing it because if I were going to do that, I wanted it to be as authentic as possible. Now, yeah, I could have just used regular soy sauce and did it that way, but I didn't want to be disappointed in the flavor profile just based on the fact that I didn't have the sauce. So I must have thrown it away mistakenly or something. I have no idea what happened to it. Anyway, when I made it, it was really good, just like the other ones. I don't know who's in their test kitchen or who is putting these things together, but they know what they're talking about, guys. So the experience itself was absolutely awesome. It is a subscription service. And the cool thing about that is you can pause a week, skip weeks, you know, whatever you need to do because it works with your schedule, you know, and then, you know, so be it. But if you do choose to do that, I mean, it's an excellent way to get your food without having to do a lot of grocery shopping because it comes directly to you. The things that you would have to get, like for this meal, for example, the things that I needed to provide for it was an egg, butter, vegetable oil, and kosher salt and black pepper. That's it. A lot of times it's just stuff that you already have in your pantry. But all of the specialty things like the sesame seeds and everything came with this. I did not use a sriracha mayo, which was surprising to me because I love sriracha mayo and that's usually something that I definitely would eat it with. I ended up frying an egg with it for the first meal because I had 2 meals from it. And then for the second one, I didn't. And then I also had tempura shrimp for both of those meals to go with it as like an extra protein. Anyway, but yeah, I loved it. It was a fun experience. I think that if it's something that you think that you would want to do, try it out. Every plate, it came in a box, everything was prepared and pre-measured, and it did not take that long at all. I mean, I think probably the most time that you'll spend is prepping the vegetables. So cutting up your carrots and onions and things like that. So if you're a person who likes to have that stuff already cut up for you and that's how you buy it from the grocery store, this might not be for you because everything comes in its whole form. And then you have to do all of that prep work yourself. So that was probably one of the downsides, I guess, of it. But everything was fresh and ready to go. Looked good when I got the package opened. Yeah. I really think that the experience itself was really cool and it gave me some content for you guys for December. So I hope that you enjoyed it. So, let me know below if you've ever tried any kind of service like that before and, what was your experience and, how did it work out for you? And is this something that you would like to continue to do? So with that being said, I will see you guys at another time. So bye.